Hello, 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 crossroads witches and other interesting magical beings. So good to be here. I am doing my own personal working. I was getting my stuff ready and I realized I probably should share this working with all of you wonderful magical practitioners out there at this time of the year and doing those little boosts of happiness, because that's what this is. It's just a happy vibe energy. I plan on burying several of them around my property, and I wanted to show you the working that I'm doing, how I'm putting it together. I have my space set up. I've already discussed and thought about it. That's how we always start when we're doing magical working, is making sure our intention is clear. My intention is I want people, when they step onto my property, to feel happy. That's it. And I also believe that it's those little sparks of happiness, it's those little sparkly moments that actually make big moments happen. A lot of times we think about, we've got to do these big giant workings, and realizing that sometimes we just need to do little sparky things. And I consider this one of my sparky things. I was at the beach here on Edisto. I'm just right down the road from Edisto Island, so I went to the beach. While I was at the beach, I found these beautiful seashells. And when I was holding them, I realized, wow, this is just this beautiful, again, a spark of happiness. And I thought, well, that's a great way to start a working, is with something that personally I resonate with and makes me feel happy. So I started with some seashells that I got from the beach. Now, depending on where you live, your environment, as far as what makes you happy, when you go out into nature, what are the gifts that nature gives you? So these are my 3 seashells. The other thing I did was typically we do like a talisman. We want some type, write it on paper, some type of way of putting it into physical realm. You know, I could sit there and write happy. I could write a sigil for happy. I could write a pretty little verse and things like that. Instead, I asked my 4-year-old granddaughter what is happiness? Because there's such an innocence and purity with children that is so magical. So she gave me this piece of paper that's full of hearts, because I let her have a piece of parchment and a purple pen, because we made it magical. And I said, what do you think is happiness? What makes you happy? And she said, hearts. And she drew me a whole thing of hearts. And I am so thrilled with this. I hate to cut it up, but I'm gonna have to cut it up because I have 3 seashells, all right? And so this is my magical sigil symbol. And I think this is one of the most powerful symbols that's ever been created, because it was done with that true purity, that true, just unfiltered, her response of hearts of happiness. I was just like, oh, that is so sweet. And so sometimes, instead of going to those ancient grimoires, looking for the seal of Mercury or the seal of Mars, or trying to recreate some sort of runic combination of all powerful that represents happiness, we should just ask the small child that is near us to create it for us. Use what you have. Everyday magic is simple, it's uncomplicated, it's truthful, it's authentic, it's in the moment. Y'all can see what I've done here. All right, where I've got my 3 seashells, 2 the pieces of paper. I didn't think I could get her to do it 3 times. I knew when I handed her the paper that we were going to do it once, okay? This is where I've got now everything's, oh, the other thing I've got is blue cone flowers as my protection. And I'm also going to take a little bit of this and just lightly sprinkle it around. Again, y'all see, you don't need much. This is the biggest thing I see with some of you new practitioners is you think that we use bags of things, all right? Here's the cute little, I also have this is one of my Magick trays. I have found these little trays are great for when I'm putting things on them. And they also give me the ability to just pick my tray up and to sit it someplace if I choose to do so. All right. Now I've got my space all set up. All right. And making sure my air is clear. This is the time, depending on your methodology, where you may want to call in your ancestors, you may want to cast a circle, you may want to light incense, you may want to do some spraying waters, spray blessed moon waters, you may want to spray Florida waters. It is endless, all right? I also have this wonderful little broom, and you may just simply want to sweep, sweep, sweep away anything that does not bid me well. And then bring it back the other way and sweep in all of the goodness, sweep in all of the energies that do bid me well. That's simple, all right? Again, this isn't about overcomplicating, all right? And then I do have a candle that I want to light real quick. This is where I just want to take that deep breath and connect to divinity as I know it. All right, and take that breath in. This is a magic working, and it is going to do well. All right, that whoever comes into the proximity of my seashells is going to feel happy. And to the divine, it's in all of its names and all of its forms. Please guide me this afternoon on this working of magic. My intentions are true of heart. Now I have some, oopsie daisy, y'all. I put my foot down. Here it goes. I have a howlite. This is my angel and skull. They're in howlite. Whenever I'm doing workings, I typically bring them out and sit them in. For me, they represent the light and the dark, the living and the dead, the light half and the dark half. They represent balance to me. These are my own personal associations. All right. And I have a protection and peace. It's peaceful protection. That's what started this whole working, was this oil. Because I was like, ooh, I like peaceful protection. And I want to use peace in my happiness. I want my happiness to be protected. I want my place for people to feel protected so that they can be happy. It all rolled in for me personal. So I am going to take a little, and I am just going to put an equal arm cross. This represents happiness in all her forms. Take my oil, put a cross. This represents happiness in all its forms. Take my finger. This represents happiness in all its forms. That smells delightful. I do like that. Now, like I said, I have my blue cone flower. All right. And I'm going to make like just a little paper envelope. I want to be able to keep the cone flower, so I just do a little fold And then again, remember we said we don't need lots. A couple of petals. Now take it and fold it inside it. I'm trying to do this so y'all can see. All right, now that I've got it, I'm put it in my seashell. All right. I put my essence, my energy into it. And I got me, oops, where's the end of my little red thread? Of course, y'all, I pick it up in the red. Where's the end of this? This isn't the first time this happens to me. It happens to me all the time. All right, here we go. I have a red yarn string. However long you want it to be is a personal. How many times you want to wrap it around it is personal. If you want to put any special knots into it is personal. If you don't like the idea of red thread and you want to use white thread, you want to use black thread, whatever color you feel makes more sense. All right. I'm within Southern Conjure. Red thread is considered to be very magical. It's an action, an activator, puts a fire into it. All of those associations are with red. All right, I'll untangle that in a minute. Now, got my red thread. All right, I'll start your wrapping. Leave you to tie. And again, how you choose to do your own is exactly that. Happiness, protection, and peace. You know, the rules are the ones you make, which is be very mindful not to get caught up in other folks' magic. And really work on creating your own magic. There we go. And we're going to tie this particular knot. I am going to end with 3. And again, that's my own personals. You may want, like I said, the way you wrap it is very concise. You have a certain methodology, how many knots you use, all of those things. In the end, here is my charm of happiness. Now I'm going to take my charms of happiness. Let me sit it right there because I'm going to make these other ones up. I'm going to take my charms of happiness and I am going to go out into my yard with a shovel and I'm going to bury them. I'm going to wait till twilight. I want to do it during dusk. I want to do it at what I consider a liminal space, a liminal time, a liminal point is how I'm doing this particular working. And again, how the time you choose, everything is on you. You make those decisions, all right? For me, this is what feels right. And so that's what I'm working with. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm making up 3 of them because that made sense to me. Again, my magic, my connections, how I'm doing this. Yes, of course, we're inspired by others' magic. Just like you sitting here watching me do this working inspires you. And like I just said earlier, be mindful to be inspired by other folks' magic, but don't try to do their magic. It's about you doing you, boo. I know some of you old folks who've listened to many of my videos over the years, I don't think I've said that in a while. I very much have a philosophy of do you, boo. Your magic is yours, boo. That's what it's about. That's where the true power lies, is within yourself. And so we got that one made. And now I'm going to make this one up. And when I'm, like I said, when I'm done, I'm just going to sit them on my tray here. I may decide to, recite a prayer over it. This is the time maybe to put on some happy music and dance around and hold them. If you want to do a psalm, as y'all know, I love my psalms. Do a psalm. There are several good psalms that you could, read out loud. That, again, your preference. There is no, oh, this is a psalm that we all must read, we all must do, we're all going to do it the exact same way. Yeah, no, that's not how this works. This is about what resonates with you. If you have a beautiful poem of happiness, this is a time to read it out loud. It is about putting those energies, those vibes, whatever phrase y'all want to use, into the space, into the object, into it. Okay, clam shells do not do as good as oyster shells. Just a little note there for anybody that would like to know that. And that's like note to self. Use oyster shells. The oyster shell sort of tucks it in nicely, whereas the clam shell seems to be a little squiggly about it. But that's okay. I'm happy that Mother Nature gave me 3 pretty seashells. They were all just like laying there together. It was a moment where I just felt like the universe was like, here's some magical items. What are you going to do with them? And oops, let me see, did I get it? No, I did not get it. Sometimes tying knots is a little difficult. I don't quite have good motor skills. I have nerve damage to my arms. All right, there we go. Set. I'm going to sit them on my tray here. And if you want to sprinkle something, you want to dance around it, you want to dance with it, that's what you're going to do. I'm simply going to leave it here with my candle lit for a little while and leave it on the tray. And once it starts that last edge of daylight where we're in dark shadows, all right, I already know the 3 places I'm going to bury them too. That's something else. If you are going to go burying things at night, it's really smart to pick it out during the daytime so that you can see the lay of the land and then come back and bury it. I'm just saying from experience, traipsing around at night with a shovel and not quite sure of the landscape doesn't work well. That's all I'm just going to say. All I'm going to say is bad decisions make good stories, and I've got some great stories to tell. All right, witches, here is a charm of happiness using everyday ingredients, simple magic that anyone can do. Take it and make it your own. I hope you enjoy. Of course, if you like my video, like my content, please hit that subscribe. More importantly, hit that like. And if you have any comments, suggestions, thoughts, anything, leave it in the comment section below. And with that said, witches, get out there, fly those brooms, have a bright, blessed day, and as always, amen, blessed be, ashe, and et bobo. Yes, I have a collection. The purple one back there. And actually, I also have a black one that's a spare hat. Just because. They're too cool.